We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. So what's everyone talking about these days? The wrong thing. Recession, the ports. Oh my God, it's all over. Whatever. If it's all over on that front, then it only begins on Bitcoin. Everyone's negative. Excellent. We're going to be positive. Matter of fact, we're going to be so positive, we're going to be stupid. And Gann is back. Patreon members will get the deluxe version, but the bottom line is Gann is back in the house. And needless to say, we are headed for volcanic upside in the month of May. Just got off the YouTube member live stream where we broke it down. We broke it down, everything from let's see, Gann using the life of Jesus to predict market cycles, along with a specific roadmap for May, and I even have June and July. We will be giving some of that to you and some of that to Patreon, so don't forget to get in there. And according to what I'm told, since that will be the party of the century, because that is when we will have the blow off top or the end of the blow off top of this phase. You want to be at the Bitcoin conference for 120 or 140K Bitcoin if you want to get wild. Prices go up Friday. Support the channel. Check it out. Okay. Now let's welcome who is here. We are working today without the Eagle King. So I will remember to share the screen, tying a string around my finger. Don't go anywhere because we're going to tell you all about the recession, and then we're going to tell you why you shouldn't even care. That's why. Or we're going to tell you what you should care about, which is the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, because Lutnick is out on the tape, and this is going to happen. Some kind of talk is going to happen. They got to pivot. I saw a picture of AOC on one of the left-wing news channels today. Like AOC is ready to take off as a superhero as the orange man's popularity plummets. Okay. That's got Bitcoin written all over it. And other altcoins too, which we discussed in the YouTube member area. And we will discuss some here today. Okay, so we have JH from Canada, I believe. Welcome. Bull Runner, Thomas. Today's Tech Bites, Tussle, WBITG from Thailand. Denmark in the house, right? The great Santini from the United States of America. Hello, Vancouver Island. And the Canadians who have got Trudeau Part 2 up there. Congratulations if you like that sort of thing. Taco Tuesday. Hobby, good morning, LFG. Donato, BitBoy Al, DC Precise. Charlie, Bobby Rock, Daniel J, forget about it. Daniel Ortiz, a member, banging away with AINTI. Their money is their money. Your money is their money. Unless you get on board with the antivirus revolution. Shameless plug. Don't care. Never getting me off of that, ever. New website coming out in early May. Just in time for the mega moonshot in this market. Starting with Bitcoin. Okay, so thanks to the orange man trying to add Canada as the 51st liberal state, we now have a super left-wing government in Canada again. Okay, so, the other guy was pro-crypto, and I think you better get some antivirus and get on private eSIM, and are they going to get you for thought crime? I mean, look, the orange man clearly screwed up for this, so whoever had the patriotic Canada angle won the election, okay? But, they're not nice up there. It's like the English government. So, you know what? Okay. They have a certain ideology up there. If you're going to be ideology neutral, cool. Come on, visit us at Antivirus. Seriously. And get some Bitcoin, by the way. Hurry up. Hurry up. Conservative Party leader loses his seat in their parliament. So not only do we not want you to be our president, we don't want you in our Congress either. Ouch. Ouch. Even though the Conservative Party did the best it's done since 2011, we just hate you. I guess that is the orange man effect. Bang. Okay, everybody on the orange man bad now. You know what that means. The Bitcoin pivot. The big Bitcoin pivot. Okay, Ray Dalio, it's too late. The changes are coming. Control F, search for Bitcoin. Oh, Ray forgot Bitcoin again. All the macro heads forgot Bitcoin again. They're all mega bearish again, which is fine, right? But what they don't realize is that there's a positive solution to all this. There's a way to rebel. There's a way to push back. First, it's called Bitcoin. And then, of course, the second half of that was covered in depth in the YouTube member area and in Patreon, which is the middle tier offering that has Gann Roadmap Part 1. And if you think that Gann Roadmap was good, you can't believe what I got now. You can't believe what I got now. Gann is back. Gann is back. Massively. Okay, Bitcoin price consolidation likely as PCE, manufacturing, and jobs report. Lutnick and Besson are already out on the tape, and I'm guessing that jobs report is horrible. That's a guess. Horrible. Or it's fake. Either way, it's a possible catalyst for Bitcoin per the Gann analysis. So the payroll number may not be, but something may happen over the weekend to get it going. That would be 5/5, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo for anybody who likes tequila, but also a big Gann point. Gann was super into the number 5. Watch out. Watch out. People caught sleeping on this market, thinking nothing's going to happen, or if nothing happens off that number, or if something happens off that number and you get gradually, suddenly follows. You could have a 9-day ramp that leads to a 20-day ramp here. And by ramp, I mean this, like baby banana, except not baby, right? This market went down 30, 40%, can turn around and go right up 30, 40%. Altcoins are telling you that because altcoins are not moving, right? They're not slipping 5% a day like they were when the market was going down. They're sitting and they're upticking. And AI is up like 40% for the month. It's insane. There are AI coins that are up over 50% for the month of April. Everyone's like, oh, that's nice. By the way, I'm not even going to tell you who was like, get it together on AI a month ago. Gee, guess who? That would be Toby Ward. Home sales to drop to a 16-year low, the worst since 2008. Will house prices crash? Gee, he must watch the show. The only way housing prices are not going to crash is if you get a wealth effect in people's hands and people can start getting loans against Bitcoin. This is a solution, right? If you want to avoid a housing crash, you got to get money in people's pockets somehow. And I don't understand why buying 1 million Bitcoin is so difficult, particularly since they've pooed their pampers on this tariff thing. I mean, the optics are horrible. Whether it's good or it's bad, I don't know, right? We've been in a recession. There's been no job growth for years. The whole thing has been fake. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's going into a recession. Hey, are you guys new to the grocery store? Have you not been there in a while? What are you talking about? It's been here forever. London is losing its millionaires. So what's everyone else going to do? Well, I can tell you what they're going to do. They're going to get an eSIM card. They're going to get antivirus tokens. They're going to get private email. They're going to get a mixer so they can protect their money from, 1984 over there, from the brave new world. Yeah, whatever. My grandmother was from Manchester, for God's sake. She's rolling over in her grave. When macro turns darker than markets. Oh, my God. So fashionable at the macro cocktail parties. Oh, it's the end of the world. I'm short. No, I'm more short than you. No, I'm more short than you. A loud and growing chorus, deep into recession territory. So, yeah, some of these numbers are horrible, right? Manufacturing, down, right? Earnings outlook, down. CEO confidence, down. CapEx, down, right? Map of economic surprises, negative. Stagflation is a consensus. Excellent. You boys have all the fun you can with this. And you know what I'm going to do? You know what we're going to do? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to buy Bitcoin, and we're going to get involved in all the sectors and all the stuff that Toby likes, all that stuff, and the small caps in the YouTube member area, stuff with like 25 million market cap. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's like, I could be negative, or I could find something super cheap and invest. How about that? Does anybody remember like investing? Right? This is like, okay, I'm negative. Okay. Okay. You're negative. All right. What are you going to do? Going to get short stocks, right? Run into the Fed? Or are you going to go into the Patreon store if you're allergic to monthly memberships? 12 cyberpunk altcoins, those are mid caps. 100x coins, those are the small caps, right? And then more mid cap alternatives that could change everything. One of these is more DeFi heavy than the other. Don't buy it on your phone. Apple's terrible. You buy it on a browser, even if it's a browser on your phone, you know, you save $20 a report, right? So it's $70 on Apple, 40 over there. Just saying. You can listen to these macro heads, or you can crank up and absolutely get involved. Okay, Howard effing Lutnick to appear on CNBC today. Why? Well, one, they got to get Bitcoin going. Okay. And two, the payroll number is going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. It is. And even if it isn't, they're going to need a new talking point. Here's Lutnick here. Sort of odd having government officials so bullish on Bitcoin when their job should be to maintain dollar supremacy, says Realfly, a very, very intelligent and now very aggressive and whiny stock guy. They're coming. They're going to do this Bitcoin thing, and they're going to start talking it up. Michael Saylor started trending on Twitter on Sunday, randomly, followed by a MicroStrategy bid that's relentless. Wedge funds are short, and they're going to get destroyed on that trade. Destroyed. Goldman says markets will be okay, even though layoffs are likely to rise as corporate executives prioritize expense management this year. So just a reminder, whether they did it on purpose or otherwise, when you break inflation, you have to create unemployment. Obviously, that's horrible, right? Especially for like the people in the government. And, you know, people are not playing around on this. You know, I think corporations have had this all in the draw the whole time. They're not going to wait for Skynet to come online before they start replacing people with AI. They're going to use this whole tariff thing as an excuse to just do radical cost cutting, because I don't think they can maintain their stock valuations without it. I mean, sick that they want to let 20,000 people go. This is out of one company. Like before, they would do this in the past, it would be like 5, 5, 5, 5. Now I think it's going to be like 10, 15, 20, 25. And then they're going to figure out how to replace them with AI agents later if it's a mess. That's what I think is happening. And of course, that means Powell is a complete idiot. Rates are way too high. And Bitcoin smokes to the upside, right? That payroll number is terrible. You're going to, I mean, they're going to blow the ETF guys out of the water. They're going to take crypto up over the weekend, and they're going to make the Bitcoin ETF guys pay up 5 or 10%. Crypto could do the whole thing on Sunday night or over the weekend. Even if the payroll number is meh, if there's signs of weakness in there, they got to start talking about Bitcoin. It's not the payroll number itself, per Toby Ward in the YouTube member area, right? Think positive. I love being a negative macro head, but that doesn't work. It's not going to work, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I mean, every time I bring it up on the air, right, she like whips out some tarot cards and throws at me, and I got to be like Neo. I got to like bend backwards to dodge the bullets. She's like, shut up, meathead. Stop being negative. The Orange Man's coming out positive. When tariffs kick in, people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, says the Orange Man. White House says Amazon showing tariffs on each project is a hostile political act. Whoops. Amazon stock does a little minor dump. Nothing catastrophic, despite the chart work here. Yeah, they're going to push back against the orange man every chance they get. Every chance they get. And it's funny how the orange man took $1 million from Bezos for his inauguration fund and then stuck it to him on the tariffs. I don't know what the orange man is doing, but whatever he's doing, he's making everyone upset, which is, you know, his motto, right? It doesn't matter whether you win or lose as long as you irritate everybody, which is exactly what's happening and exactly why they have to pivot back to Bitcoin because, you know, they went too far, not on the tariffs, on irritating everybody. White House says President Trump is America's businessman in chief. And somebody draws this about the Chinese leader. Whoops. Communists don't make deals. But, you know, hey, it was worth a try. I don't know what they're doing, but whatever it is gigaballs. You wanted the government to moon your bags? They're going to moon your bags. Risk of global economic recession surges on tariff shockwave, says a B+ journalism major who works at Reuters. Okay. Whatever's in Reuters, do the opposite, right? Okay, let's Control F. Bitcoin. Oh, not there. Live look at the Port of Los Angeles, the biggest port in the United States. There's no traffic thanks to the orange man and his ridiculous trade war and tariffs. Okay, so in a global rebellion against the orange man, everybody turned their ships around. They turned their ships around. Like Real Fly had this thing from this guy on TikTok, right, where this dude, you know, on TikTok, he shows like, this is what the shipping normally looks like. No, this is all the ships out there waiting for news about the tariffs. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Nothing. We're going home. So that should be interesting, right? And again, in the YouTube member area, you know, we went through all the different permutations and how this is all going to pan out, right? It's very simple. It actually is very simple. Okay. GM suspends guidance, freezes share buyback on Trump tariffs, lays everybody off, use it as an excuse. Oh my God, the sky is falling. Sky is not falling. Bitcoin is rising. And then all altcoins are going to follow because every other investment on the planet Earth is a big Hershey's Kiss emoji. That's what the macro heads are not telling you. The macro heads are like, well, you know, I'm so bearish, I can't possibly talk about Solana. Okay. I'll talk about Solana then. And you can watch my P&L go up along with everybody in the, you know, Patreon and YouTube member area. Trump auto tariffs deal reached. Oh, okay. Howard Lutnick. What? I don't know. Where's the deal, bro? The deal is you guys got to buy Bitcoin. Gold-backed cryptocurrency spike amongst global trade uncertainty. Okay, don't have a problem with gold-backed cryptocurrencies, but what about other cryptocurrencies? What about Bitcoin? What about Solana? What about ETH? What about XRP? What about antivirus? Right? What about the whole universe of altcoins? Seriously. Like, where's DeFi? Where's real-world assets? I mean, you know, like, you know, pretty much Toby, like, when she constructed some of the buckets for the YouTube member area, she's like, you know what? I like this whole sector. I'm like, really? The whole sector? You mean all those coins? Really? She's like, yeah, really? So shut up and get on the air and tell everybody. NFA, Trump's first 100 days, worst in history, despite crypto promises. You know, this is on the orange man's desk, and Michael Saylor is on line one going, now would be a good time. Don't think. I've seen the guest list for Bitcoin Vegas. They're leaving space for somebody big to come in and say, we're mooning this. That's what's going to happen. The high cost of the Fed's mission creep. Paul Volcker, guy in the 80s who crushed inflation, he said the Fed had gone to the very edge of its lawful and implied power, transcending certain long-embedded central bank principles and practices. We took that as a brushback pitch, high and tight, from a strong institutional ally to his successors. But Volcker's warning has gone largely unheeded, as the Fed has assumed more expansive role in our government on all matters of economic policy. All manners of economic policy. And guess what? The Fed has built themselves a big new headquarters. How about that? And I saw the big new headquarters, and I saw Cynthia Loomis giving him a hard time about it. And I said, is that designed for them to work in, or is that designed to keep you out? That's pretty fancy, huh? Nice. 2.5B for this. 2.5B. They have a little like apartment complex in there for all the overlords to live. Yeah, whatever. You know what? You know who can get through those walls? Who they can't shut off? AI John McAfee. I'm on that today. I'm on it. Okay. I walked through why there's something for everyone, right? Bitcoin's asymmetric upside is tied to network-driven adoption. Meaning the more people that buy Bitcoin, the more people will buy Bitcoin. The more people that use Bitcoin, the more powerful the network. So states, corporations, all these people that get involved, it's a software network. It's a computer network. You cannot duplicate the code. You cannot. You cannot. Right? And MicroStrategy is basically doing a Bitcoin halving by taking the supply off the market and by sucking out all the Bitcoin that the Chinese would sell at the market if they had to. So it's just like locking the supply. Michael Saylor is taking China's Bitcoin off the market and locking it like staking. New Bitcoin price all-time high could occur in May. Here's why. You know why? Because, I don't know, 12 days ago, it was crypto winter. Bitcoin's up 13% for the month. AI coins are up 50%. Wow, what a balmy winter. Dummies. Dummies. You know who's long AF? Patreon. Lux Algo subscribers, right? Who bought a lot of stuff in the discount zone, right? I undersell this. And of course, YouTube members, right? These old coins could be your next big crypto fortune. Why is crypto volatile? Did crypto reverse course? Did we ever get bearish? No. No. Crypto picks to explode in the new bull market from a month ago. Are you constantly panicking about crypto? Yes, 3 weeks ago. She wasn't. She didn't. She was like, yeah, buy. Okay. If you say so. And by the way, she's also talking 2017, which is crazy banana pants. But, you know, I'm about crazy banana pants, right? Okay, so the left having a complete conniption. You know, Orange Man's crypto firm, wheeling and dealing, doing whatever it's doing, right? Promoting coins, buying coins, who knows? The left absolutely hates it, which is a great way and great reason to continue to do it. Because it doesn't matter whether you win or lose as long as you irritate everybody. Donald Trump Jr. taking it to excess. Hey guys, before you do the $500,000 a year club, can you get the crypto thing going? Because you guys were good at that. You're not really good with the Port of Los Angeles. A return to core competency would be a good idea. Strategy is synthetically halving Bitcoin and will set the cost of capital for the next 100 years. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's untouchable. The whole thing he's doing is it's untouchable. And the MicroStrategy, the MSTR 2100 meme coin, which I think is now on base, also took off. MSTR 2100 and antivirus. Go. Give it to me. MasterCard adding stable coins so it doesn't go out of business. Okay. And I got something in here about how wonderful it is, right? That, you know, they can surveil you with USDC, which I kind of already told you about that. I already told you about this. They're going to surveil you with those stable coins. Don't kid yourself. BlackRock, IBIT sees second largest Bitcoin inflow. This payroll number is going to come out. They're going to take crypto up over the weekend, and these guys are going to get smoked on Monday. They're going to have to pay outrageous prices. Buy in May and stay. Period. Bots against humanity, the battle for blockchain supremacy. You are going to need proof of human. You're going to need proof of you are not going to be able to do anything in this world in 6 months without any art, any music, any movie, anything. Definitely 12 months from now. 12 months from now, you are going to have to verify what AI created it or what human created it. Not to mention digital identity. I mean, what? I'm giving my eyeball to Sam Altman at WorldCoin? Oh my God. Please. Please. Why? So a Terminator can knock on my door? I don't think so. I mean, we're ready for anything in Texas, but I don't know if we're ready for the Terminator, right? Ethereum community members propose a new fee structure for the app layer. All Vitalik has to do is talk the talk and then walk the walk to a certain degree in 6 months, and bam, you got a second leg of alt season. I think altcoins are a great investment. That's not investment advice. I just think this stuff is too cheap. And you know, and Toby has been saying it for a while that you can do these rotating rallies, right? Started with AI, then she has the next group, and then something after that over the summer. Hint, hint, Solana's involved massively. And then, you know, in the fall, well, you know, you're just going to have to just tune in. You know what I'm saying? This is happening. This is happening. It's happening right now. It's just happening quietly, which I love. Right? I don't want these like 15% one-day move off some orange man tweet. I don't want that. I want people to say, oh, I'm still scared. Oh, maybe it's going back to 70. I mean, maybe it is, but yeah. You know, they're so bearish. They're so bearish. They're not focused on what's bullish. Ethereum is destroying the competition in $16.1 trillion TradFi tokenization race. What do you know? You know, you shake the world, and Ray Dalio's like the monetary order, and Larry Fink's like, I want all the assets on the blockchain, is because he doesn't want to have to go through banks to get the capital markets. And I know I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it and say it and say it and say it, because these projects and ETH are just too cheap. Department of Justice seeks 20-year term for Celsius founder. I actually interviewed this guy. That's not long enough. Not long enough. Like, That guy should be done. Circle wins regulatory nod from Abu Dhabi. Okay. Great. Stablecoins. Awesome. Great things to dump for Bitcoin. Bitcoin-friendly Canadian politician. Done. Excellent. Get a copy of Minority Report and then buy some antivirus, not investment advice. Okay. Bitcoin ETFs, 590 million in inflow. Coinbase wants to give you 5% on Bitcoin. God, somebody give Bitcoin a yield curve. In order for Bitcoin to be money, it has to have an interest rate. When they figure this out, oh my God, they're like, oh, look, interest rates in the finance textbook. Look, hey, interest rates, yield curve. Like, why is Michael Saylor not, I mean, he is with the preferred stock, but why isn't he issuing Bitcoin-denominated securities that people have to use Bitcoin to buy, and he pays them yield in Bitcoin? Why is no one doing that? I don't understand why no one's doing that. Bitcoin should have a 1-year interest rate, a 3-month, a 6-month, a 1-year interest rate. And it should probably have a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year interest rate too, based on bonds issued in Bitcoin. Let the market figure out what the yield on Bitcoin is. Okay, antivirus running into a ceiling here at 3 cents. All we can do is hope and pray. This team knows what it's doing. They're working hard. You know, some guy took it upon himself, a guy with 3 kids, took it upon himself to get quotes from the AI McAfee bot and post them on a separate Twitter feed called John AI. USDC, the surveillance state stream, dive into the shadows with antiviruses, eat gift cards. Catch me if you can. So Twitter was afraid of AI McAfee. So some guy took it upon himself at John Anti. Give him a follow. Court bars OFAC from reinstating tornado cash sanctions. What do you know? What do you know? And you're wondering, why is that? Anti is the new money. Federal court blocks again. And then why? Why do you care? Why do you care? Here's why. AOC's approval rating after anti-orange man rallies. Whew, look at that big smile. Bartender from the Bronx. Very, very appealing. Very, very left wing. Very. Makes the Canadians look like Ronald Reagan. Now, I don't normally care about these things, but I'm guessing they're not exactly pro-crypto, and they're definitely not pro-privacy. And if you have capital market assets, that stuff, that's theirs. They can come in and take that if they want. Midterm elections 2 years away. Time to get ready now. Time to buy crypto while you can. Hopefully the administration has enough common sense to get involved. Because if they don't, this is what they get. They get what they deserve. The man cooking in the kitchen. Okay. TA. It's the one chart market update. Bitcoin monthly. So this is a Fibonacci circle structure. And back in February 2024, when you took out this circle, that was the Bitcoin ETF, and you were off to the races. You wound up at 108, right? Right around where this number is, right around 100. You take out 98K. This will be the fourth attempt at this level. Next level, 144. Coincidentally, that number came out of some of the Gann analysis that I'm sitting on. Toby's doing 120, and this could get stupid in May. And then you should exit and rotate either to something else or protect capital. But it's buy in May and stay, and then Memorial Day, I think it's see you later. This is going to be a blow-off top. They take out 100. It's a network effect. They're just all going to start pouring in. Period. End of story. End of story. Solana. Rally. Pause. Waiting. Waiting. Where's the resistance in Solana? See any? I don't. I don't. This is like blue sky out here to 250 something. There's nobody home. Well, there's always somebody home. Like if you look at a weekly chart, the range in Solana is 132 to 260, 256. That's the range in Solana. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out in all coins in general. Okay. And I know Steve's going to come on, and I know y'all are going to be extremely proud of me that I got DeFi perp all ready to go. Okay. So DeFi perp monthly, right? What do we got? What do we got on DeFi perp monthly? We have a small candlestick on the discount zone. So what has DeFi perp done this month? Nothing. Most coins are up like 20, 30, 40% in a small cap region. Big cap DeFi, Chainlink, but it's done nothing. Nothing. How high can this go? I mean, we just saw an article. Right? About ETH kicking everyone's butt on DeFi. The equilibrium zone in DeFi monthly is at 250. And all of these macro heads that are apocalyptically bearish, okay, this means you could shake something in TradFi. Okay, so you have a problem in TradFi. That creates volatility in markets. That brings in the Fed. But doesn't this all make the case for DeFi? All this negative stuff, right? If you go to PowerPoint, right? So much like top secret information in Patreon. I'm sorry, in this PowerPoint, right? Millionaires leaving London. A mass exodus. A mass exodus. Goldman guy warns layoffs are likely to rise. Lutnick appearing on CNBC because the payroll number could be bad, or they could be pivoting to Bitcoin. And U.S. growth following the 2-year yield. The blue line over here is the 2-year interest rate. So if interest rates, short-term interest rates roll over, it could be because U.S. growth rolls over. Fine. That just brings in the Fed harder, right? The longer they wait, the harder they have to do it. It's the same. There was the same thing on the way up. They let inflation be out of control for a year before they did something. Now they're probably going to wait for something to break, and Bitcoin's just going to keep going, right? Or Bitcoin will go up and then something will break and then Bitcoin will correct. And then when that holds, then the whole space is going to have a speculative frenzy. Crazy, right? Here's a fun chart from the historical analysis. So what happens when, it's like the 27th of the month and Bitcoin's done pretty good during the month? Whoop. That was October. That was October, right? When you have a solid rally, like 13-something%, starting right before the end of the month and then through the payroll number. Remember the Easter work, right? A little bit before. You didn't get the before, but you got the after. This is similar, right? At the end of the month, you have a big month in Bitcoin since 2020, right? I'll give you this, right? 27th day of the month, Bitcoin's up 13% over that 27 days. 9 days out, Bitcoin's higher 89% of the time, right? Going back to 2020, average rally 7%. Smoking on the upside. Doesn't even include 2017. Smoking. Nothing is going to stop this. Nothing. Nothing. And if you want to see some big picture pie in the sky Gann stuff, here is a 2026 roadmap. Okay. Bitcoin goes down as stocks go up, perhaps sometime in early 2026. And then stocks go down 10, 15%, and Bitcoin goes from 100 to 200. In other words, if you can figure out how to hold Bitcoin around any volatility in July or around the eclipse in September, or if you accumulate around 100, if 100 becomes support. So if you get 140, 100, and you can hold it there, you can hang on for 200. If Bitcoin goes from 100 to 200, where's ETH and Solana and XRP? Where's all that going to be? DeFi, real world assets. What is going to happen there? What is going to happen when AI gets involved in DeFi? Forget about it. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Right? I mean, how many dips do you have left between now and 200K? Ask yourself that question. How many real dips do you get? Well, you just had one and everyone thought that was crypto winter. So, you might get one over the summer. Who knows? And everyone will say that's definitely the end of the cycle. Right? And then you'll get another surprise. You get another surprise. These meme coin guys are going to be back. They're going to be back. All right. Let's see who's here. Hopefully I was sharing the screen during all that. All right. Who do we got online today? Who's here? Who is here? Okay. JH is here. Big Rich in the house. What about TAO? All right. Let's get TAO going for Big Rich. Dude, I hate to tell you this, but it's pretty simple in AI. Either you got to be involved in TAO, you got to be involved in render, and you got to be involved in fetch, not investment advice. Right? If TAO takes out 376, it's going to 400 something. Right? I don't know, man. TAO can attack the top of this resistance at 480. Right? It's going to attack resistance. This is a weekly chart, and money flow is starting to come into this. So, yeah, there's resistance in this, and they're going to attack it. The resistance in fetch is at $1.20. It's currently at 78. This is weekly. If you go to daily, I mean, any dip in fetch is going to be met down at 60 cents. And I mean, if you look at the overall history of this, I mean, you got to be kidding me. This hasn't even done a reclaim yet. Or it sort of has, or it almost is. Right? They took out this low from over here on this giant give up trade, and it actually has done the reclaim. So if you focus in on this, I mean, it's not investment advice, but this looks like it's going up to me. And it looks like it's going up hard. This is a stealth breakout in AI. I mean, you got AI coins here up from 2 to 11%. AKT. Toby picked ICP out of the hat today. Who's talked about ICP? When was the last time he talked about ICP? God. Destroyed. Right? Near 2. And virtuals. You're going to get in the way of this? I don't think so. This thing could go back to 5 billion. I mean, they're after this stuff. AI, cartoons, agents, fun stuff. It's not going to stop. I mean, you know, I'm reading all kinds of stuff about AI. Zero Hedge had something. Zero Hedge had something like, AI catching up. Here it is. Visualizing AI versus human performance in technical tasks. So, of course, naturally, everyone has to talk about the apocalypse instead of Bitcoin or AI agents in crypto or whatever. Everyone's like, well, they're going to build Skynet and, we're going to all have to go to Mars or whatever. There's that. And then there's like, well, the machines are going to be smarter than us in 6 months. Okay, well, the machines, when they get smarter than us, they're going to be wondering why you didn't buy Bitcoin at 90 or why everyone was selling ETH at 1400. They're going to be like, wow, you guys really are stupid. Maybe we need to take over. I'm serious. I mean, the last thing Toby said on the YouTube member live stream, when I'm like, okay, here's my geeky roadmap for May and whatever. She's like, bro, this is not the buy zone. Your bag's already better. They better be packed. So yeah, it's the buy zone tactically. But she's like, dude, investors have to have bags packed. Pack your bags and get going. Patreon's got 3 reports. We go through all coins every day, narrowing it down on the YouTube member podcast. Your kids are going to say when Bitcoin's at 700K, Dad, what were you doing when it was at 80? I spent $60 a month on Starbucks instead of listening to Bill and Toby. Or I got in here with Bill and Toby. I got involved, and then this whole thing went colossal bananas. Bananas, like a correction is back to 100. All the way through 100, back to 100, and then never going down again in your lifetime. I'm all about the hyperbole today. Okay, thank God I'm sharing the screen. Okay, let's see who else is here. Tybor, Wisdom A. What's up? By the time Bitcoin, by Caspa, LB Crypto. Okay. Since I'm on a roll, remembering to share the screen. Now, just keep in mind, and we don't know, that's why we're looking at small caps. Just so you know, Toby is like new. Right? Nenu. Anybody who's old enough to remember that, unlikely. Okay, so Caspa's knocking on the door of the 200-day moving average. Evaluate everything on a rally. It's not that I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying evaluate all positions and say to yourself, is this new? Is this hot? Does this do something? This could be a pretty good reclaim if they take out the 200-day moving average at 10 cents. Okay. We were looking at some stuff earlier today. Somebody was looking at Egan Layer. The AI stuff is exciting, but it is a little hard to find super exciting stuff unless it's AI and DeFi. You know what I'm saying? Because there could be a whole new realm of M words, right? Memes pretty much getting spanked today. Oh, by the way, look at this Bitcoin Cash thing get perky. The 200-day moving average. You got to watch out for normies here, folks. You got to watch out. Their stock portfolios, they're going to get their 401k statements. Oh, that's going to be no bueno. They're going to Coinbase. And when they go to Coinbase, they may start looking for stuff like baby Bitcoin. They may start looking for this stuff. And even though it's stupid, it can still happen. It can still happen. Philip is here. DNT, save her. Don't save her. A new member, welcome. By the way, you can become a YouTube member by clicking the little $sign at the bottom of the chat right over here. Oh, I don't know if you can see it right over there. Right? And Big Rich, if you're a member, you get to hit all these cool new emojis, right? Me, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Toby, the green button. Just do it. Okay, Wisdom A is asking, is it still good that there's fear in the streets? When Bitcoin is over 100, YouTubers will start predicting 1 million. And then it's a top again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of numbers between 100K and 1 million, and no one's talking about those numbers, which is why Patreon is going to be getting the massive Gann roadmap. I mean, the massive Gann roadmap. I mean, we're talking like Gann using the life of Jesus to predict Bitcoin. Like, here's a Gann quote. Like, I couldn't believe this when I didn't find it, the AI did. Gann noted that the first Monday after a payroll report is a decision point. You ready for this? For both metals and electric markets. That's a quote from Gann from the 20s. Of course, naturally, the machine is saying, yeah, that would be a crypto analogy. So again, this payroll number comes out, good, bad, most likely shows Fed cuts are coming. And then Bitcoin, crypto over the weekend just smokes. Maybe it's up Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And they just run these Bitcoin ETF guys out of town, which is why they are absolutely piling in. You know what's between 100 and a million? 150. Imagine what that Bitcoin conference is going to look like if Bitcoin is at 150 at Memorial Day. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Of course, you could also have another round of hype about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, followed by a disappointment trade. You could also have that. But to say that they want to get after this, these macro guys are so negative. They're so negative. By the way, this is a reminder to hit the like button. It's also a reminder to hit the notification bell, right? A notification bell. Crypto Tilly wants to know if we can look at Jupiter. Yes, we can. Okay, Jupiter and the Solana ecosystem and Radium are all on our radar. Okay, if you like Solana, you would definitely like the YouTube member live stream. Yeah, okay, Jupiter. So, yeah. How much distance do you have between here and the 200-day moving average? A lot. I mean, this stuff just absolutely fell out of bed. And again, everything in the Solana ecosystem has got money flow coming in. Money is coming into the Solana ecosystem, right? Solana versus Bitcoin, right? Solana versus Bitcoin can go up 20%. I can't even remember. I mean, the last time Solana was this far, Solana versus Bitcoin was this far below its 200-day moving average. I don't know. That looks like FTX. Is that FTX? Yeah, June 2023. The abyss. It's practically the abyss. It's probably right here. Right? That's the abyss. It's the abyss. That's Solana relative to Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin takes off, Solana is going to get even cheaper. Okay, we talked about virtual. I'd be happy to talk about it again. What's going to stop that from going back to 5 billion? It went to 5 billion. And the thing about Gann is, and this is another thing that I found out when I was trying to research antivirus. By the way, antivirus 2026 target. So like year end 2026 target minimum is $4. And one of the reasons why, okay, by the way, that's the conservative scenario. That assumes McAfee doesn't become an independent talking person on Joe Rogan. Anyway, when you look at this, man, the fact that Virtuals was capable of going to 5 billion to begin with is a significant Gann event. In other words, once a market can output this kind of energy, it can output similar energy again. Like, it's not over. And we've seen this in meme coins, right? Stuff goes up, stuff goes all the way down, bigger the base, the higher in the space, and then boom. This is no different. Like, the AI trade is on. It's on. It's on. Right? And then there are other trades that are going to come after it, which again, we discussed at length in the YouTube member area. Chainlink, we did discuss. Let's go to DeMark on Chainlink. We did talk about this in the YouTube member area. Okay. So Chainlink weekly, nothing happening. Chainlink daily, nothing happening. Chainlink's got to get through $8. Chainlink monthly is hanging around a big monthly DeMark point at 650. So while Chainlink may look terrible, okay. Oh, that's not Chainlink. God. Oh, so bad. Chainlink. There we go. Sorry. Okay, Chainlink, let's start over. My apologies. Chainlink is hanging around $15. That is resistance. Chainlink does not back off, and Chainlink takes out $15. Where is the resistance in Chainlink? This 13-9 bottom yet is not confirmed. If they ever got a rally, they could get it going. This is the perfect little reversal. $26. And there's no way you're going to have all this without, there's no way you're going to have all this without Chainlink. There's no way. I'm sorry. Okay. The problem with DeFi is that TradFi would control it. Okay. Less rigging by Wall Street. People are going to want to trade. People want to get lending. People are going to want to issue bonds, and people are going to be looking for yield. And it may be through the centralized exchanges, right? Like, Coinbase isn't just going to magically give you yield on Bitcoin. They're going to have to go into DeFi and do it, right? They're going to have to go into DeFi. What does that have to do with the 4-year cycle if Saylor is basically having it? Okay. So I think what I'm trying to say about Saylor is he's doing a Bitcoin halving in terms of like supply reduction. It's not necessarily implying anything about the cycle. The thing with Bitcoin is, you know, Bitcoin may be one of these things where you only get 40% corrections or 30% corrections, like stock market, right? In other words, it doesn't have this, like, you know, 50, 60% down anymore. Like, and who knows, it could be the same thing with Solana and ETH, because they're coming after that ETF. And again, with MicroStrategy, with Saylor trending over the weekend, all the hedge funds, everybody short the stock. Accumulation cone, boom. 3 months, they tried to push it down. Didn't work. Good luck with this. They're going to get smoked. They're going to get absolutely smoked on this trade. I mean, there is literally, I mean, what was I looking at this? I gotta get the right contract from their Twitter. Okay. Supposedly MSTR 2100 is also moving. I'm looking at this into the Bitcoin conference. I'm curious. I'm curious on this and antivirus, my pet projects. Watch out for Michael Saylor. Okay, so let's sum it up. This payroll is coming out May 2nd. The administration has to change the subject. They are backed into a corner. They are getting their butts kicked. Whether they deserve to or not, whether this tariff policy works or not, they got to change the subject. When they change the subject, they're changing it to Bitcoin. Everyone is hoping Bitcoin goes down. It's not. And if it does, everyone's going to be down there to buy it. It never goes down when everyone wants it to go down. It only goes down when everybody's all euphoric at the top. The government in effect, is going to moon your bags. And all these macro guys that are negative are missing that AI and Bitcoin, that narrative is way more powerful than whatever it is they're looking at on hard manufacturing data. Layoffs are terrible. But again, it's structurally, it's a new type of economy driven by AI, blockchain, new forms of money. Folks, make sure you check out the YouTube member area, right? Please check out the latest podcast. Patreon store has single names. Get involved. We will see you tomorrow.